Chaim with the bracha. The Eibush should make by everybody, the heart should be easy. And the pockets should be full. Oz yimol etzchek pinu. When the pasuk says Oz yimol etzchek pinu, she can see this. That osir l'odom l'malei piv tzchek b'ilmazeh. A person's not allowed to laugh too hard in this world. Why? Because there's a presumption if you laugh too hard, it's prikasol. I'm looking for a word. It's hoylelus. It's verlosenkeit. Mashiach et kumen et beginnen lachen. Oz yimol etzchek pinu. Now the Havana Shabbat, the pshat is that people laugh for different reasons. Everybody knows the Chassan HaMaimed, the Chassan HaMaimed Veismadach, yeah? So the Chassan HaMaimed the Rebbe brings in our Rebbe's Maimed. That Tzchait comes from Tainu, Kaposho, Tabilti, Murkav, Abilti, Murgish Klal. Laughter comes from the highest Madregis Netzman Neshama, laughter. The klipa that's associated with laughter, it's a whole industry to make people laugh. And the way laughter is experienced in Welt, it's klippe, and sometimes it's mamish shofel. It's very low, yeah. But the Gemara says, they tell about the Rebbe, it was a Yid, and this ben Kafrumer, when I gave the Letz, and he used to make people laugh. This goes back to 50 years. So I have gehört von Chevra, als gestorben. Had the Rebbe the man Farbrengen the Gemara, the Rebbe mentioned when he died, he died in the 1970s. The Rebbe mentioned by Farbrengen that the Gemara says that they asked who has a chelik in El Haba, and they answered Hanebatre. People who make people laugh. Even if the jokes are not so kosher, you understand? People should laugh is a very, very big thing. But the truest example of laughter, laughter in Kedusha means that you're not laughing at something as a joke. Laughter in Kedusha means that the joy, the positivity is so strong that not only are you smiling, but you're literally laughing uncontrollably. Malacht. In other words, people associate laughter with jokes. But associating laughter with jokes has to do with people who never cannot laugh. So they need something external to bring them to laughter. And the laughter is good for, I don't know what, right? Whatever the cheshbonos are. And it's true, laughter is a very good thing. But sometimes, you don't make any jokes. A person is in a maimed umatz, a person is in a condition where he's so uplifted that he laughs. He laughs. And that's the pshat, Oz yimol etzchek pinu. Mashiach's going to come, and the world is going to be full of light. Full of goodness, full of holiness. The world is full of holiness, full of goodness. Vet men lachen. We're going to laugh. People's idea of Mashiach is interesting. People's idea of Mashiach is a reflection of their imagination and what they know. But we have a Rambam, yeah? The Rambam teaches us what Mashiach means. And the Rebbe teaches us what the Rambam means. So we know that Mashiach is not some kind of a candy land. It's a fantasia, a Welt von Dimien. Mashiach poshet means. Mashiach means a simple thing. The Eibishter tells each human being what he needs to do. A Yid was given Taryag mitzvahs, and if he's a Kohen, he has these mitzvahs. If he's a Levi, he has these mitzvahs. If he's a man, he has these mitzvahs. If he's a woman, he has these mitzvahs. If he's a child, he has these mitzvahs. And Lahad, the Eibishter gave Goyim Shabbat mitzvahs. Mashiach means a very, very simple thing. That the Eibishter gave us mitzvahs, and we do them. That's against Mashiach. But all of us. What's Mashiach? Mashiach means that every person does what the Eibishter tells him. Now, it's impossible. Comes a few frumo wackos in Brooklyn, but the Welt is frei. It wasn't the pshat. The pshat is like we look at Elam Hazeh, we look at the world, and we see all these people that are keeping Torah mitzvahs. We see all these goyim that are and we imagine that they made some kind of a choice. They made some kind of a pchida. They made a choice. We're not from the schleppers who are never such losers that they keep taking mitzvahs. We're independent thinkers, we belong to the modern world. But that's not the way it is. That's not the way it is. The way it is that when a person doesn't do what the Eibishter tells him, it's because he doesn't have the koyach. When the Eibishter gives a Yid a mitzvah, and Lahavlov does, he gives a goy a mitzvah, and he's not able to do it, it's not because he doesn't care. It's not because he's too much of a chevre man to listen to the Eibishter. It's the pshat and hot nish the koyach of them. There's no strength. There's people who just on Elam, Baruch Hashem. This is mamish unbelievable. This is mamish gewaltig. Mit this bachsidische Farbrengen, Shvat, the Rebbe had sicher nachas. This is on Elam, Baruch Hashem. Head, you know you're the benafshe. How often does a person do, not you're a tzaddik gomer, but the yenem, yeah? The yenem was the Veram Bazich. The Rebbe used to quote, HaGoya shebekirbecha. Ametreft sich zusammen mit dem Goya shebekirbecha. When you meet your own guy, the meiste mit Shmuel Munkes, sometimes we do what we shouldn't. And sometimes we don't do what we should. What's the pshat? We don't care. It's a pashut shver. It's hard. Now, sometimes it's hard because we have no koyach. And sometimes it's hard because there's a se'er shem isa. There's the Yetzer Hara, and the Yetzer Hara is uman v'machte. As a uman, the Yetzer Hara is a chavraman. The Yetzer Hara has so much patience. He waits and he waits. Veistach lepesach chatas levet. And look at it. It's a great Yiddish word. He waits and he waits and he waits and he had plenty time to learns, nedavens, evat. The Yetzer Hara is sticking around. There's patience. The Tzalta Meise. This is a Meise. Von einem Meise von Baal Shem Tov. Ich meine, das ist der Wort. Aber ich glaube, alle Meise sind mit einer Nadel. Aber ich glaube nicht, dass die Meise kein Treffen mit den Apokalypse. Es ist ein Meise von Baal Shem Tov. Sie ist getroffen, sie ist nicht getroffen, weiß ich nicht. Aber wenn es nicht ein Meise ist, wegen ich und du, ja? What's the story? And the Baal Shem Tov had getroffen a Porush. You know the story? I forgot how I know it. If I read it, if I heard it. If I read it, it was something more believable. If I heard it, it was something less believable. The Baal Shem Tov came and met a Porush. And this Porush used to fast Shabbos to Shabbos. Fast? This Porush used to fast Shabbos to Shabbos. How do we do this? This Porush used to fast. This Porush fasted Shabbos to Shabbos. Shabbos to Shabbos. Nie gegessen eine ganze Woche. Ein Mensch kennt das nicht. Friday afternoon, you're not allowed to go into Shabbos morning. So before Shabbos, he would drink a glass of warm milk. And that's how he would break his fast. And Shabbos, he ate for a whole week. Whatever. I mean, a Yid does fast a ganze Woche from Shabbos to Shabbos. The koiches nafshim, the koiches gush, it's not normal. So the Baal Shem Tov came to see this Porush. And the Baal Shem Tov met him. And the Baal Shem Tov asks, I forgot the Prati Asipur. The bottom line is another man shows up who had been upset for Shikta for jail. And the Baal Shem Tov asks this other person in the presence of this Porush, where are you coming from? He says, I was in jail. And I just got out of jail. He says, what happened? You were in jail? He says, it's a funny thing, he says. I was sitting in jail, and behind, on the other side of the wall, there were these people. And in the beginning of the week, they were very happy. They were laughing, and they were singing, and they were unbelievably happy. But as the week wore on, they got into a worse and worse mood. When they got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they were hysterical. Mamish ois mensch. You could hear them crying and complaining and screaming. And then right before Shabbat, they all started laughing. They laughed. And the laughter lasts till Monday and Tuesday. And the same chayzah chalila. They get into a bad mood, till Friday afternoon. And Friday afternoon, they gelacht. This is what this man was sitting in jail. And from the other side of the wall, he hears people, madne menschen. Freitag mittag lacht men. They laugh, mamish b'simcha rabba v'atzuma. And then they laugh through the whole Shabbos, Sunday, Monday. By Tuesday, they're already in a bad mood. By Thursday, they're hysterical. Friday afternoon, they're ois mensch. And then mitamol, right before Shabbos, they're lachen. Hat der Baal Shem Tov gesagt, that there is a Porush who fasts Shabbos on Shabbos. And he's standing in front of a Porush that fasts Shabbos on Shabbos. He fasts Shabbos to Shabbos. And there are shadim, there are ruches, spirits, that they need to get chayes from this guy. And then fast a ganze Woche. Und lernt nedavent. Imagine not eating a whole week. I miss a meal, but I mensch. I miss 2 meals. All the people around me are ice mensch. I miss 3 meals. You have to clear up the neighborhood. A fast mit Shabbos on Shabbos. Und der Diener Meibischen und die Ruches werden mit Sugar, der ice mensch, yeah. Gets closer to Shabbos, he's getting more, you know what it is. You understand yourself. You know what it is at the end of Tisha B'Av. You know, you're just in a bad mood. You don't want anybody to do something that's going to allow you to show how nervous you are. You get some feeling on this less. Comes Friday afternoon, and these ruches are thinking, oh no, bald they starben. This guy has a glass of milk, but his hands are shaking. At the ganze Woche nicht gegessen. You need a whole week. So he picks up the glass with both hands and he drops the glass and the milk spills and he gets angry. Und von dem leben die Ruches die ganze Woche. So that's why in the beginning of the week you're in a very good mood. But as they get closer to Friday, they start getting nervous. Oh no! Kommt Shabbos nach Freitag nach Mittag, der Mamisch ist Mensch. And then he drops his milk and he gets angry and they start laughing. So the Baal Shem Tov tells this to that other guy. When the Polish gechalisht, was? What does he give him? You understand? A whole week he didn't eat. As he came Friday nach Mittag, he picked up his glass, and his hands were shaking. He was hungry. He tasted, and he dropped the glass. The milk would spill. He got angry. For them, I'm the ruch of the ganze Woche. People don't do avedas because they don't care. Es ist schwer. Am Morgen gewesen, Menschen mit Mummel Haches. Heute viel nicht Mummel Teoven. Es ist Mummel Itzolein. Es ist Mummel Itzolein. Verstehst? Be ehrlich, to be the way the Eibishter wants is right. And everybody knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows they Sirtzach, and everybody knows they Signev, and everybody knows they Sinev, and everybody knows they Sachmed, and everybody knows they Saneh, and everybody knows they Tisave. Everybody knows. Everybody even knows Kaveh Tzigecha V'Samech. Everybody even knows Everybody even knows it's pushing hard. We're weak and we're tired and we're always getting matted, and unfortunately for many of us our lives don't have enough substance, so it doesn't take much for us to be tired. If a person has a life of substance, so b'meila he has more koyach. But the Yitzhahara is a woman, he knows to present to each person his own Yitzhahara. What's the Yitzhahara? A little more than you can handle. And you platz. Mashiach het kommen, wird man nicht platzen. Das ist der ganze Mashiach. Das ist der ganze Meister, that's it. That's all. Just imagine, let's the mo, the last time, yeah, Mistama was 17, 18 years ago, yeah, Mistama, yeah. The last time you had an assignment, I had an assignment. And it's not the pshat I don't care. It's the pshat that the Yitzhahara got to me. And I was tired. And I was hungry. And I was in a bad mood. And I had a fight with my wife. Tzadis. Yeah. Ubemeile bin ich reingefallen. A Mashiach had come and nicht reingefallen. That's the whole Mashiach. That's the ganze Mashiach. That's the whole situation. But you see, you understand what that means? Imagine you, every person in this room has good days. Every person in this room has moments with their abandoning. When you slept enough, but not too much, yeah? You ate enough, but not too much. Hast geschlafen, aber nicht zu viel. Hast gegessen, aber nicht zu viel. The cup is klar, yeah? You're strong. Think when the maybe enough. So you start off 8 o'clock in the morning, we have 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, to get all this good. Now it's 4 in the afternoon. The engine is running out of gas. So what's the eight? So you eat, but then you overeat, and you become fat of it, you become more bloated, and then it's not good, yeah? And that's when you get in the bad moods, and that's when you start getting irritated, and that's when you start getting angry, and that's when you get impatient. It's poshet mahatish kakoyach. The ganze Mashiach is mit haben koyach. It doesn't mean we have koyach, it means we have ratzon. Mashiach Tzidkenu is a boss of Adam. He's a person who's going to bring into this world a koyach, that we should be able to do what we know now that we're supposed to do. And lahavdil the goy knows that we're supposed to do. But then it's a harder. This is the situation. Mezindik nicht of talachas. We don't not care. We don't have koyach. We don't have koyach. As Mashiach had come and have koyach. That's the whole chiddush. But it's an inyan amiti. In other words, Mashiach is a person with a bigger neshama than any neshama that's ever been, and he's going to have such a big neshama that he's going to give koyach to every yid and mahadal, every guy, that whatever Hashem says I should do. For me, when I keep mitzvahs, it's good for me. When I learn Torah, when I have self-control, when I manage my time well, when I don't waste my time with shtusam v'avodim, when I don't 11 o'clock at night when I'm tired, and because I'm tired I waste time, and then it's 2 o'clock in the morning and the whole next day is ruined. The Eibush that gives me the koyach poshut to get into bed and go to sleep. Oh, that's the ganze Mashiach. That's what Mashiach means. Mashiach means that people do what the Eibush that gave them to do, because Mashiach gives people the koyach amazakan oisvin. So Mashiach's nothing. Mashiach's boring. In the language of the Baruch, Mashiach is boring. But imagine such a world. Imagine I can only speak about me because I got enough trouble with me, yeah? When people start telling me, Lashon Hara, ich matach lieb lernen Lashon Hara. Politik, die beste Sache, Lashon Hara. Reden wegen jenem, so whenever, the Lashon Hara sage ich, wenn man ist ein Spiegel, give me a cookie Spiegel, you know what? You come back tomorrow. Derweile, ich habe meine eigene Lashon Hara, ich darf schon dein Lashon Hara, ich habe meine eigene Lashon Hara. Look at the mirror and say, really, mamish, you're going to tell me schmutz wegen jenem, it's the best, you know what? Ich habe mal gehört von Rabbi Ruben, so haben doch nicht geredet, hat mir gesagt, als sie gewinnt Rebbes, sie gewinnt der heilige Belser und sie gewinnt der Munkatscher. Ich bin jetzt auch nicht gepostet der Meise. Dachte ich mir an der Belser, dachte ich an der Belser gewollt an der Schkutzem, so sich überbeten. Efter mit zwei anderen Tzadikim, von größer Tzadikim, and the Schkutzem, every Rebbe got Schkutzem. You know, what was the right that you are a real Rebbe? That you had Chassidim and gelernt and gedavnt? No. Aber got Schkutzim. You had the raya that you really made it as a Rebbe, that you had Schkutzim. What's my Schkutzim? They nicht gelernt, nicht gedavnt, but if you'll say a word about my Rebbe, I'll chop your head off. That was critical mass. A größer Rebbe got Schkutzim. So there was a Rebbe, the Schkutzim, the Fatshepet, the zweiten Rebbe, because the erste Rebbe, the Heiten, Kimmen immer beter. Nein. The zweite, nein. Ich habe meine eigene Schkutzim. I'm doing good. I don't need your Schkutzim. Ich habe meine eigene Schkutzim. Jeder hat seine eigene Schkutzim. You understand? What's the Shegitz? The Shegitz is Schwachkeit. The Shegitz is it's late in the day and you're tired and you worked hard and you don't have as much koyach. The bells in the Munkitchen. I think it was the bells in the Munkitchen, but it could be it was others. The bells are like the Munkitchen. But it wasn't between the bells and the Munkitchen. It was the Chassidim. Actually, when say other Rebbes, but one Rebbe says the other Rebbe, ich schicken the Schkutzim, the Chibbe beten. Ich habe meine eigene Schkutzim. I'm doing good. I don't need your Schkutzim. Ich habe meine eigene Schkutzim. But the other eigene Shegitz. Everybody has their own Shegitz. What's the Shegitz? The Shegitz is, I'm tired. The Shegitz is, ich habe mich koyach. The Shegitz is, I'm in a bad mood. The Shegitz is, in der Arbeit gewinnt schwer. Kommt man heim und hat Kass. Kass amidero. Kol HaKeis, right? Omer Razal, steht in Rambam. Omer Razal. Kol das Chassidische Rambam. Omer Razal. Kol HaKeis kilu Eved Aved Zara. Wo der Razal? Not in Zayar. Aber der Rambam ist gesagt, der Zayar. Omer Razal. Der Rambam ist Medayik. Omer Razal. Kol HaKeis, ist nicht da, Razal. Omer Razal. The Chazal said, Kol HaKeis, someone gets angry, kilu Aved Zara, the only makra, that Zayar, that the Rambam brings it, is a zayah. Anger is the worst midah. Anger is the worst. Anger is the worst midah. Anger is the worst midah. And if a person has anger, it's a rachmanas hafem, it's a rachmanas hafrov, rachmanas hakinder. But you're not always angry. When are you angry? When you're tired. When are you angry in a bad mood? Imagine even when you're tired, you have enough koyach to control the anger. Imagine when you're in a bad mood, you have enough koyach to control it. And that's Mashiach. Mashiach Poshit is a maimed of matzid where we're able to do what we need to do, and we're not doing it for the Eivishter. We're doing it Tihu Chayecha. We're doing it because it's right and because it's good and it's good for us. That's what Mashiach means. That's what Mashiach means. But in such a world where all people have enough koyach that when they're weak, they're stronger than the Yetzer Hara. It's a different world. It's a world of alakus. It's a world of Teda. It's not the Isis of Meifsim. It's not the Malachim flying with wings. It's Poshet, a world, Mashiach Tzedkenu is going to give a koyach for all of human beings to be the way the Eibush made us. That's what Mashiach is. Anyway, so the Pasuk says, Oz Yemos Chekpinu. As Mashiach had come, we can't laugh. We're all to laugh. Why? Today you laugh. Laugh is hilarious. People need other people to make them laugh. The Gemara says, and they were not Chesed Tzadikim, they were Kam Yidden, but they made people laugh. Laughter is a very good thing. But many of us need laughter because someone makes a joke. The greatest form of laughter comes from just existing. You know, if your life and your Avodas Hashem is good, you don't need to hear a joke in order to laugh. You're in a Maimid Matzav as es lachtzach. You understand? You laugh from yourself because you find yourself in a good Maimid Matzav. Oh, the Mashiach is coming, Yimot, Chayk Pinu, people will be able to laugh. And the Gemara says, also, now you're not allowed to laugh because laughter is hilulus. So the Frierdiker Rebbe said, that Oz is Begimati Yishmoina. 8. What's 8? The Baal Shem Tov, the Mr. Magid, the Alter Rebbe, the Mittel Rebbe, the Tzedek, the Rebbe Rash, the Rebbe Rashad, the Frierdiker Rebbe, Oz, Yimot, Chayk Pinu. The Frierdiker Rebbe's name was Yosef Yitzchak. It's the Megman Lach. That's what the Rebbe said. Hein Megman Lach. In the olden days, you were not allowed to laugh. You were afraid that the laughter is going to be not the way it's supposed to be. Today, we could laugh, and we must laugh. I work in yeshiva, and one of the Yidden that I work with, who's almost old enough to be my father, he's a God Agay Ben Erid. His name is Rabbi Lapkowski. He's a very, very big Talmid Chacham. He's one of the biggest experts in halacha in the world. And he's never Chabitl Dike, he's never Chalababitcher. They ruined his whole life. He'd been a misnagid, he'd been a gadol. But he's a Chassidish Yid. So he told me once, I'm married to Reb Nissen Zanenikl. So he told me once that he remembers Reb Nissen coming back from the Rebbe. Reb Nissen Nemenov went to the Rebbe for Tishrei Toshin Tezvav, the first time. Then he went again Toshin Yudzayin, he went 3 times for Tishrei. I heard this from my Shvat, that after he was by the Rebbe 3 times for Tishrei, the Rebbe told him he should never come for Tishrei again. Well, that's not in yeshiva. As a coming another time. For to come in Kislev, for to come in Shvat. But 3 Tishrei he was by the Rebbe. Toshin Tezvav, Toshin Yudzayin, Toshin Yudzayin. The first Tishrei, the Nesias of the Rebbe was 4 years old, Tzachako. Reb Nissen. And the Rebbe knew Reb Nissen from Russia, you know that? The Rebbe knew Reb Nissen from Russia. There was Temch Pimim in Kharkiv. And the Rebbe was in Kharkiv. And the Rebbe came very, very, very early in the morning. And Reb Nissen was a Yida, a soldat, and Nissen got very early, and oftentimes he would come into the Zal, and the Rebbe, who was not yet a chassan, he was not yet married, he was not even engaged, the Rebbe was there, and the Rebbe ruled Reb Nissen from Ruslan. There's the Meiser, Abba Vusta Meiser, but it happened with Reb Nissen. There's a famous story, I got from Shvet, after going to Reb Nissen, that a Bacher came to Yekaterinslav. The Rebbe's father was Rav in Yekaterinslav, the Rebbe Petros, was a big city. And they said, in those days, the Bacher used to raise money for the yeshiva. That was the say, they sent the Talmidim around, and they would raise money for the yeshiva. So the Bacher came to Yekaterinslav to raise money for Temch Pimim. So the Rebbe has been angestanden, but the from Leivik, Reb Leivik, yeah? And Reb Nissen is gekommen again. I heard this from my Shvet. Reb Nissen came to Yekaterinslav, and he asked to stay by Reb Leivik, and he stayed in the house, and he asked Label to help him to raise money for Temch Pimim. So Label walked around from house to house with him, the Rebbe's brother, to raise money for Temch Pimim. He asked the Rebbe, the Ramash, the Rebbe, he should also help him. So the Rebbe said, the Rebbe said to him, I don't have time to go from house to house with you, but I'll give you a letter and you'll go to one person. He got more from that one person than from Label's whole collection. So the Rebbe, the story is famous, aber der Schwert mir gesagt, als ich mit dem Nissen. Und der Rebbe hat ihm gesagt, ich habe einen Brief, und es geht zu einem, von jenem einem hat gehabt mehr wie von der ganzen Label. So the Rebbe knew who Reb Nissen was. Anyway, Nissen was a Chassidish Yid, he was a Kabbalah Selnik. Anyway, he came back to France. He told me, he said, I have a mitzvah. and the Gebarig by Tavshin Beis Mistala, yeah? So Tavshin Tezog, and I have a mitzvah Ingo. Actually, 15 Jahre, ich weiß Tavshin auf. And ich gewinnt zu alt. Reb Nissen kommt davon von Rebbe, I wish I could talk in Yiddish. Reb Nissen comes back from the Rebbe, and he says, Behishtoimus. This is his first visit. The second visit and the third visit were, more complicated. But the first visit was a Lukus B'Pshitas. There's a lot of nice stories about that first visit. He came back and he said, Behishtoimus. You heard of Reb Nissen. Reb Nissen was a Kabbalah Selnik. Reb Nissen was a man of such gvura. Ich habe nicht gekannt. I heard from people who knew him. When Reb Nissen davened, he turned red like a beet. Reb Nissen davened. When he ate, gegessen, he was more red than when he davened. Du verstehst? Ausgerechnet jeden Bissen. He would sit with the food, every piece of food that immer getracht sie davon. Du verstehst? Reb Nissen. I heard of people who saw. B'shassen daven ich ben roit. B'shassen essen mir noch roit. He would eat daven. He was red like a tomato, like a beet. And when he ate, he was redder. He was such a soldier. He was such a Kabbalah Selnik. He was so mastered himself. And he comes back from New York. What's the message? The Rebbe will as alles soll sein besimcha. Simple message. You gotta be happy. Finished. Das ein Freilich. And he said, ich habe gehört von der Bisrael. Wie darf man das alles besimcha? Tshuva darf nicht besimcha. Tisha B'Av nechet besimcha. Avil is alles besimcha. Everything is besimcha. So Nissen said, I don't know how you're supposed to do it. But I'm telling you, this Rebbe, alles besimcha. Everything Freilich. He doesn't want to hear any atzvus, any marashchede. In other words, not when there's no excuse. When there is an excuse. This is when he came back. And for the Nissen, that was very hard. He was not Mr. Happy. He was Mr. Angestrengt. He was Mr. Nervous. He was uptight. He was round up like a top that you let go. He would spin until he'd fly away. But Nissen was, and he comes back from the Rebbe. What does the Rebbe say? Everything besimcha. Everything besimcha. Everything besimcha. And this is what the Rebbe said. After the times of the Friedrich Rebbe, Meg ben lachen. In the old days, laughing is a very dangerous situation. Now, the Rebbe said, Meg lachen, you're allowed to laugh. Everything has to be done with simcha. In der Chagem zu verstehen, ich meine, es ist nicht ein größer Pilpel. Es ist wichtig. It's very, very important. It's very important. It's very important to understand that the Rambam writes, everybody knows this Rambam, right? It's the Lubavitcher Rambam. The Rambam writes in the end of Hilchos Sukkah, the Rambam writes in the end of Sukkah, that on Sukkot was a big simcha. I don't know if you know this. The Rambam does not hold that Nisach HaMayim is connected to simcha. Everybody assumes simcha is based, the Gemara says, the Mishnah says simcha is based on Sheyeva. What's the Sheyeva? Mayim. So the Beis Hamikdash on Sukkot was a big simcha. It was a big simcha on Sukkot. What was the simcha? The simcha from the Mayim. If you look at Rambam, it's messed up. Simcha Beis HaSheva is in the halachas Nizim Musafin. But I'm sorry, Beis HaSheva. That in Sukkot, the whole year there was Yayin. And they had Yayin, they had Shir. And in Sukkot, in addition to the Yayin and the Shir, there was also Mayim. And in the whole day, they went down into the Shilayach, and they drew the water, and they came up to Shara Mayim, and they came in, Taku, Veiriu, Vetaku, Al Kol Kir, there was Kach Vakach, Al Kol Tro, was Kach Vakach. They came into Nazara, and they poured the wine on his back. But there's no remez of the Simcha at all. When the Rambam speaks about the water that he poured on his back, and Simcha's Beis HaSheva is not Simcha for pouring the water on his back. It was for the She'iva Samayim, by night, for drawing the water. In Rambam, there's a ganz nicht up. It's in the Mishnah, the Gemara, it's not the Rambam. What does the Rambam say? That in Sukkot, they made a tikkun gadol, a chalamayit, they made a place for the women, they made a place for the men, but verbracht, a ganze Woche. But he doesn't connect it to the Mayim at all. The Rambam does not connect it to Shivas HaMayim. The Rambam just says, on Sukkot, they danced the whole night. Shivas, in other words, there's a day that holds that Simchas Beis HaSheva is Shemishama Yesheva Beruach HaKodesh. So Sichas wegen dem as. To the Yerushalmi. Mir halten wie der Bavli, als Simchas Beis HaSheva meint Shivas HaMayim. Yerushalmi halt, Misham, et cetera, jeder ben Amitai. Is Zachal in Nevuah mit Simchas Beis HaSheva. So the Rambam passes like the Yerushalmi, that the simcha of Beis HaShev is not connected to water, it's connected to Ruach HaKodesh. It's a separate thing. So the Rambam writes that Sukkot is mefreilach, Beis HaMikdash. And he says all the details, what they did and so on. After that, the Rambam finishes. Simcha ba'avedas hakelu aveda gedela. And he's a whole halacha. And he speaks about simcha shel mitzvah. The Rambam holds the higher simcha shel mitzvah. The Rebbe has L'chut Sichas that says even higher simcha, but the Rambam doesn't speak about. But the Rambam says about simcha. Simcha is avoida gedola. Avoida gedola means it's a big job. Avoida gedola means it's very important. And avoida gedola also means it's not so easy. Avoida gedola means it's a job. Avoida gedola means it's a job. It's work. What's the work? The Eibush does what he wants. The Eibush does what he wants. The Eibush does what he wants. And I'm freilich. That's avoida gedola. The Eibush does what he wants. Some days he gives me a nice dish. And some days he gives me a dish which is not so fresh. And sometimes he gives me a dish which is rotten to the core. And I'm freilich. Why? Because avoida. I work on being besimcha. And this, Rabbi Yisai, I really feel, as if you care what I think, yeah? I really feel that in our generation, the ganze Hasidus is simcha. Amazing when under in Yonim. If you need to understand, if the Rebbe's approach, if you say Vertman a Chosid Vertman, you become a Chosid when you besimcha. Why? You know why? Because it's hard. And you know what else? It's positive. Right? Trach gut wird sein gut. That's gering, I'm asking you. Trach gut wird sein gut. It's easy? It's not easy. It's easier to cry and say Tillim and give tzedakah and put your face in the Kodesh than to trach gut wird sein gut. But it's positive. And that's what the Rebbe says, trach gut wird sein gut. Simcha. In the world of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, in Deir HaShvi, maybe it's Iker Kol Iker. A Jew needs to be besimcha. Now, it's not that he's besimcha because he won the lottery. It's not that he's besimcha because his life is perfect. It's not that he's besimcha because everything is in order. He's besimcha because the simcha is avodah gedola. And the fact is, when a Yid has the initiators that the Eibush sometimes gives some people, and he insists on nevertheless being besimcha, the simcha is the keli machzik bracha. The simcha brings all kinds of bracha. I grew up here. Ich a Babich. Born and raised, okay? Ich bin da ausgewachsen. Und ich da ist meine Jahre. Mit schon mit den Einzelnen Gula mit das war schön mit I grew up here. And the Rebbe is a Yid whose whole mitzvah is a simcha. And B'tava is not that way. The Rebbe said, I don't know everything, but they say that the Rebbe said that B'tava is a Morash Cheder. The Rebbe is an introvert, a person of Gvura. And he says, Ge'arbet of Zich, the Rebbe worked on himself, he should always be B'simcha. And the Rebbe demands of every chassid to be b'simcha. It's really simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. You know the difference between easy and simple? Easy means it's not hard. Simple means it's not complicated. Meaning, I tell you to do something, yeah, and you don't want to do it. Why do you do it? I don't understand it. Okay, that's one problem. The problem is, I understand exactly what you want, but it's hard. Simcha isn't complicated. It's not, but it's hard. To always be freilich. If you're a meshuganet, a mechayah. Meshugoyim have no trouble. The 1 mile of being a meshuganet, meshugoyim are always happy. But you're never not a meshuganet. You're a normal person. And you got bills to pay and a mortgage to do and alle gute Sachen. It's chalimud, weißt doch, mona achas apoyim. Baruch Hashem is vadaygit. The stuff. Right? Now, if you're sad, you're going to have more money. If you're happy, you're going to have less money? Of course not, never then. It's easier to be sad than to be happy. Why? What I said before, yeah? A person doesn't do an Aveda. Lahach is a hard portion kakoyach nicht. Right? He doesn't have koyach. At 9 o'clock in the morning, you don't do Avedas. 4 o'clock, you don't get angry at your wife at 9 o'clock in the morning. Why? You just slept. You just daven, you just ate breakfast, you had a cup of coffee, you're in a good mood. Later in the day, you come back from work, and your boss is a Rosh Merusha, and he bullied you, and you come into the house, and your wife starts to nag you about the kids. So you platz. Kasa, like, yeah? But that's where it came from, yeah? Shtel's a fun, you had koyach. So you wouldn't get angry, yeah? It's the same exact thing. What's the difference between simcha and atzvus? Pashat. Atzvus is easy. Simcha is hard. Simcha is right and atzvus is wrong. Because simcha is hard and atzvus is easy. When Mashiach's going to come, we'll have koyach. Right now, we've got to bring Mashiach. How? By finding the koyach to be besimcha all the time. The trademark of a chassid, is a happy man. The trademark of a chassid, you meet a chassid, what's the idea? He's a chassid, not what color hat he's wearing and what shape his hat is and what kind of beged he's wearing. The simen von a chassid is a freilich rid. When the simen von a misnag is an ungeblasen rid. It's not complicated. Wear any outfit you want. A chassid is freilich. Und nicht a chassid is ungeblasen. Right? What's the difference in an optimist? What's the opposite of an optimist? Come on, you know the stuff. The opposite of an optimist is not a pessimist. The opposite of an optimist is a realist. Aber es ist Rachmanas davon, was? He's sehr realistisch und geht darum fachmoret. You understand? I'm not. I'm not making jokes. The Rebbe, ich kann jetzt Shvat, ja? Und in Shvat darf man reden wegen dem Rebbe und wegen des Kasches. Und man darf reden wegen sich. Really. We have to talk about ourselves. And one of the basic definitions of a chassid, of our Rebbe, wegen dem is of his reden, is simcha. The Rebbe himself was a Yid, was cool, simcha. Ich habe gehört von Rabbi Ruben, sie gewesen da Yiden, wo sie gekommen von Shanghai. In Shanghai, they went 3 yeshivas. You heard about this, right? You heard of Shanghai? Shanghai is China. When the Second World War started, so it's one of the biggest nesim in history. Yamach Shemei Hitler and Yamach Shemei Zachrei Stalin made a pact. It's a great nes. And they divided Poland between themselves. Vilna was on the Russian side. Nobody could imagine that you're better off by the Russians than by the Germans. Es came and I had the Heilige Belze, the Battle of Belze gesagt. Aber so geht in Russland. Ich hatte gehört von der Belze Chassid. Ich hatte von der alte Belze Chassid. The Belze Rebbe said, in Russland. And he told me as follows. Die was are gefahren in Russland, sind geblieben 90% leben. Die was are geblieben in Poland, 90% tot. It's very simple, it wasn't complicated. The Belze Rebbe said, when the Second World War started, it was again in Russland. Go east. Die Yeshivas are gefahren in Russland. Was ist in Russland? Vilna. Sie gewesen die Mina Yeshiva, sie gewesen die Lublina Yeshiva, und sie gewesen die Lubavitch Yeshiva. Alle Rosh Yeshivas. Noch ein Buchome, ich bin von jenen Talmidim. Wenn die Gemara sagt, als Rabbi Yecham sagt, er hat ausgebeten bei Aspasiones, es Allah von Beis Rebbe, und Yavne v'chachameha. Es ist mamish bemuchish. Der Ebesh hat ewig gelassen, Yavne v'chachameha. Ein japanischer Goy. Ein Goy. All the Rosh Yeshivas, and all the Mesnagdish Yeshivas, they were all Mira Talmidim. It's a fact. Mamish. Ein Goy hat geraten mit Apartheisen Jiden, und die ganze Teile, was geblieben nach dem Mohammed, das die Gemara sagt, als es ausgepelt, man soll sagen, das ist Heiland ab Tzadik, und Rat von Beis Rebbe, und Yavne v'chachameha. Sie gewinnen Vilna. Und danach sind sie gefahren in Mizrach, East. Durchgegangen in Russland, noch Russland ist China, ist China, sie gegangen bis in Yam, and they went to the Japanese islands. Sie gewinnen in Japan, because that's not the folks. Till the end of 1941, in Tashkent Base, when Japan, until Japan attacked America, the Bachim were in Japan. They were not starving. When Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, they became very paranoid about foreigners, so they kicked out all the Bachim, they went to Shanghai. In Shanghai, had been gehungert. Shanghai, they starved. Menschen sind gestorben von Hunger. Shanghai hat man gehungert. Anyway, nach dem Milchama sind die gekommen in Herzen. After the war, they came to America. Sie gewinnen die Lubavitcher Bacherim, sie gewinnen die Lubliner Bacherim, und sie gewinnen die Mira Bacherim. He says, hey, so from these Bacherim, gewinnen alle Yeshivas, the emissaries. From these Talmidim, from the Lubliner, gewinnen alle Chassidische Rosh Yeshivas, and from the Mira, gewinnen alle Litvische Rosh Yeshivas. I mean, it's almost true. It's a bit like Guzma, but not too much. Mamish, not too much. Anyway, aber zu wissen, sie gewinnen Azelche, they rained Bacherim. And some of them were Gracie Eluyim. They became Chasnei. There was a Baruch and a mention, he come from Muhammad. They lost their home mishpachas. A lot of them got married and they built mishpachas. But then they became Chasnei. Und sie haben sich gedreht. Sie haben sich gedreht bei allen Gederim. They're going to the Satmar Rebbe. And they're going to the Rebbe also. Big Talmidei Chacham, Gracie Eluyim. But they had, it's a Baruch and a mention. Und da bist du Makarev gewesen. It's given Rabbi Reuben told me his name, but I don't remember. There was a few of them. There was a man named Malin, Sivan Shmuel Charkiv. I heard these names from others, but you heard about this person, Shmuel Charkiv? These were Talmidei Chachamim Atzumim that came from the war. Some of them never got married, and they would go into the Gedalim. So there was a Polish, and that was Talmud. It was not the Lubavitcher Chassid, but he learned the Lubavitcher before the war. And he came here, he never got married. When it's a chidreit, he would run around from God, but it's a chidreit, his life was Teda. So he went from one yeshiva to another yeshiva, one yeshiva, he would go into the Rebbe, he would schmooze, Get to take a hat, it verdient. I don't know how, but he had money. And one of his stops was the Lubavitcher Rebbe. So Rabbi Reuben told me that he heard from him, that in Lamitz, is a Reinshim Rebbe, this guy went to the Rebbe, I'm sorry, I remember his name, Vus macht the Lubavitcher Rebbe? Vus macht the Lubavitcher Rebbe? For those don't speak Yiddish, like, how you doing, Rebbe? Vus macht the Lubavitcher? It's very chutzpahdik. Vus macht the Lubavitcher Rebbe? That's the kind of connection he had. So without a hesitation, the Rebbe says, Ich bin tomid b'simcha. This guy walks in, a broken Jew. He comes from Muhammad, and he didn't have a life. Vus macht the Lubavitcher Rebbe? Ich bin tomid b'simcha. We were raised on a diet of simcha. Levi Yitzchak, we were raised on a diet of joy.